We will go ahead and continue our media availabilities for today. We're now joined by Kyle Busch, our pole sitter for tomorrow's race. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we will get a mic over to you. Who would like to begin? We'll start with Bob and then go to Lee.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. Just how big of a momentum boost can this be?
I mean, I would certainly love for it to be a huge one. Getting our season rolling and back in the right direction. I feel like the last couple weeks, the discussions at RCR, me and Randall, everybody has just kind of been like, okay, let's get some sort of a reset going here. And we feel like Dover and Kansas are certainly those weeks for us that we definitely want to work towards and put our focus on to get ourselves righted. And, seems to be going well so far. Real excited about the car and the speed that it had, and coming off the truck, the way that it felt. There's definitely some things that we can be better with or improve on, but I feel like the changes that we made from practice into qualifying were good. Being able to go a tick faster in the second round over the first round was certainly huge for our qualifying effort and being able to sit on the pole today. So that all that worked out real well.
And I also wanted to ask you about, in light of Eric Jones's injury, do you look at that and say, racing is dangerous, or is there still angst about the safety of this car? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I would definitely just look at the impact rates. I mean, man, I hit at 90 Gs in the Xfinity car, and with all the things that happened in that one, breaking my foot, breaking my leg, but like the rest of my extremities was fine. My core was fine, my neck was fine, back, shoulders, everything was all good. So it's just the nature of that big of an impact and your body withstanding it. And everybody's built different. I think everybody's cockpits are built different. And so, it's just the nature of racing and the danger that's out there.
We'll go to Lee and then to Steven.
Our insurance is not cheap, in case you were wondering. So that doesn't help our rates at all either. So.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and CatchFence.com. You won last time you won a pole. You went on to win the race at Gateway. Is this just does this just start the tone for the weekend right?
Yeah, it certainly can. And like I said, I felt like our car was decent in practice, some good adjustments for qualifying. So, it's not that we're on the pole by a fluke. I do feel like we've got some good speed, but there are others that are right around us that were really fast in practice as well too. I looked at the 12, I looked at the 45. I felt like they were really good. The 24 was pretty decent as well too. So there's definitely some players that were around. So it's never easy, but having that track position to start here certainly helps. We started on the pole here last year. We led some laps right out of the gate. Unfortunately, I sped on pit road on the first go. So let's not do that tomorrow.
And you had a victory earlier this week. Any victory is like something that just kind of puts spring in your step.
You talking about the micro?
Yes.
Yeah, I won beating up on all the kids, so I felt really good and gave myself a huge pat on the back for that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a no-win situation. If I win, I beat up on all the kids. If I don't win, I got beat by all the kids. So, it's fun. I love it. I enjoy it. It's all for Brex and what we're doing with him and his development and how he's coming along, and I just enjoy getting out there. So it was fun to score the victory. I am the points leader, in case anybody was wondering. So excited about that too, and bringing home some big trophies and big checks at the end of the year. Let's go.
We'll go to Steven, then to Jeff, and then up here to Adam.
Steven Stump, Frontstretch.com. Kyle, this is only your second pole that you've won in qualifying with the next-gen car. So given the recent weeks you've had, how important is it to get a milestone like that? And also with the colder temps today, the huge tire wear, how different will the racing be tomorrow compared to what we've seen today?
Yeah, I mean, qualifying has never really been my strong suit. I'm definitely one that gets into a rhythm and gets into, a set with the race car throughout the race and is able to make the most of the race car with laps. So I feel like, I've definitely won more than double the amount of races than I do have poles. So, it's, I wouldn't say that's a next-gen factor, but definitely a little Kyle Busch factor in that as well. What was your other part?
And then it was with the tire wear and the colder weather.
Yeah.
How different will tomorrow be from what we've seen today?
Yeah, I mean, today is not at all indicative of what we're going to see tomorrow. Just the weather being very cool today, the track temperature going up means it's better for the tire wear for rubber to get down on the track to help the tire wear. So we didn't see any of that today. We actually picked up the Xfinity and the Arca rubber from yesterday. So, hopefully we need some heat in the track. So hopefully we get that hot day like it's projected.
Thank you.
We'll go to Jeff and then come down here to Adam.
I just want to follow up on last week. You had a frustrated tweet after Talladega. At this point, super speedway wise, with this car, I mean, is there anything that they can do package wise to, make things racier for you guys there, or is this car just what it is at those type of tracks?
I mean, it's car at all the tracks, really. I mean, where the fastest groove is, everybody migrates to the fastest groove, and how the cars are set up, you're running in the same car on the same tire on the same track, and the setups are going to start looking the same. The drivers are going to start driving them the same more and more, and that just creates parity and the inability of passing. The biggest struggle with this car is you can use it more as a defense tool of air blocking and everything else of the guys behind you than being able to go out in front of you and pass the guy in front of you. Like, we've seen it at the 1.5 miles even, which we all would probably agree are one of our best racetracks or best shows that we have. But you can literally be catching the guy in front of you and him just start mirror driving and putting his car where you are and not even worrying about where he needs to go forward to pass the guy that's in front of him, So that's just one topic. I mean, that's probably, there's a range of 1,000 that we could discuss, but we definitely don't have enough time in the day.
We'll come to Adam and then back to Reed.
Adam Chopper, Motorsports Today. So, Kyle, obviously the start of this season isn't exactly how you probably want it to go, but with you being arguably one of the most competitive guys in the garage, how much does this pole add fuel to your fire?
I mean, it certainly helps, right? It's not a fix-all. We know that we've had some shortcomings and some things that we've messed up on, whether it's been on pit road or me sliding through the box, or our cars not being good on a weekend, or last weekend our car was good, our pit stops were good, we were in position, we just literally had to stay in line. And if I would have stayed in line, I either would have been crashed on my side upside down across the line, or I might have finished third. So it's just all dependent on situation, and that's what's a little frustrating. I think that's always kind of been super speedway racing anyway, but when you have these races that are more in your control, like Dover or Kansas or Vegas or places like that, then you definitely want to excel at those racetracks where you can.
And also, this goes back probably to 2020, where you were very vocal about your win streak every year. If you win this year, it'll be your 20th consecutive season with a win. Is that something that's been weighing on your mind as well? No
question. Absolutely. That's definitely one that we already passed the Daytona 500. I didn't check that box. So the next box to check on, highest on the list, is to get a win this year to just continue that streak. And from there, of course, you're never settled or never happy with just one. You want to have more. You want to be able to get the playoff points that you need. You want to be able to peak at the right time and carry yourself into the postseason with good speed and good momentum, and have a great finish to the season and be one of the championship 4 drivers at Phoenix.
Great. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Go to Reed.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. Your qualifying lap itself, and looking at the lap tracker, it looked like where you beat everybody else was entry into 1 and 2, and that allowed you to survive a little twitch in 3. Is that a pretty accurate description of the lap?
I haven't been able to see it compared to anybody, so thanks for that. Appreciate it. How did it feel driving it? I would say that I was definitely charging the entries. I felt like there was room for me to do that from the first round. I felt like the first round I kind of maybe babied it into the corners a little bit, but it definitely gave me the speed out of the turns. And I was like, okay, if I can maximize my entry and still keep the speed out of the turns, then I feel like I'll net positive on the first round to the second round, which we did, right? I think I ran a 26 or something in the first round and a 19 in the second round. So, I mean, that's literally when I came over the radio after our run, I told Randall, I says, man, besides it running a .200 of a lap time, like that's as close as it is to perfect. Like, we don't have to change a whole lot.
Are there any other questions for Kyle? Yep, perfect.
Seth Wilcock with In Between Media. Kyle, the last driver to win from the pole at Dover was Jimmy Johnson in 2010. Why do you think that is, and do you think you can be the person to beat that streak?
Man, I wouldn't have thought it was that long ago. This place is, really different from practice, qualifying into the race. The race is certainly a whole different game. And like I said, track position plays a big role. Pit stops play a big role. Us having number 1 pit selection will hopefully help on that. So, we only have to go a little bit to jump across the line. But, the strategy here is to obviously stay out front. And you would think if you start on the pole, you lead every lap, you win the race, but that's not always the case. So you just got to play it out. It's a race. That's why we race them.
All right, Kyle, thanks for your time today,
got
and
it.
good luck
Thanks.
tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for doing all that Pat McAfee stuff for
Sure.
us.
Yeah, no problem.
Sometimes it can